The frontier of the American West presented a uniquely odd landscape, a fact that should be well established by now. We've delved into this intriguing era previously, unearthing some truly peculiar and unexpected anecdotes. Returning once more to this fascinating epoch, we present another collection of 10 bizarre historical tidbits and outlandish tales. As the nation expanded westward, driven by ambitions to unite the Union, stake claims on new territories, and construct a transcontinental railroad, the frontier became a hotbed of strange occurrences. Skeptical? Let's see more. The following stories encapsulate the astonishing and improbable events that unfolded during one of the most tumultuous and eccentric periods in American history. 10. The Case of the Traveling Corpse. Elmer McCurdy, an aspiring outlaw, attempted a heist on a passenger train in Oklahoma in 1911. Believing it carried a substantial sum for local banks, McCurdy hoped for a lucrative score. However, his plans were foiled when he discovered the train lacked the expected bank funds, leaving him with a mere $46 from the robbery. Shortly thereafter, Oklahoma lawmen caught up with him and fatally shot him. Yet the peculiarities of McCurdy's story unfolded posthumously. Following his demise, his body underwent embalming with arsenic and was subsequently sold to a traveling carnival. Eager to capitalize on McCurdy's outlaw persona, carnival operators showcased his mummified remains as a sideshow attraction at various fairs across the Midwest. For the ensuing 6 decades, McCurdy's corpse exchanged hands among different county fair organizers, perpetuating his bizarre journey through post-mortem exhibitions. Even haunted houses and wax museums seized the opportunity, acquiring the late outlaw's remains. After over 6 decades of being shuffled around, amassing more wealth than McCurdy ever did in life, his body found its way to an amusement park funhouse in Long Beach, California in 1976. The park had attracted television producers filming scenes for The $6 Million Man, unwittingly incorporating McCurdy's mummified form as a prop. During the shoot, a finger, or according to some reports, even an entire arm, detached from the body. The incident caught the attention of the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, prompting an investigation to confirm the identity of the mysterious corpse. To their astonishment, the body was indeed that of Elmer McCurdy, the would-be outlaw who met his demise over 6 decades earlier in Oklahoma. Sensibility prevailed this time, and McCurdy's remains were finally granted reprieve from their carnival-esque odyssey. In a fitting conclusion to his strange journey, McCurdy was laid to rest in the infamous Boot Hill Cemetery in Dodge City, Kansas, marking the end of a bizarre chapter in American frontier lore. 9. Gold Rush. It's quite tempting to credit the frontier with pioneering the gold rush phenomenon, especially considering the prominence of the 1848-1849 California gold rush in Old West lore. James Marshall's discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill in Northern California ignited a frenzy that drew people from across the globe to seek their fortunes in the region. Other Western gold rushes, like the one in Colorado during the latter half of the 19th century, and the renowned Comstocklode silver rush in Nevada, further solidified the mythos of the Wild West. However, preceding these Western rushes were earlier gold rushes in the eastern United States that were equally significant in their time. The first major American gold rush occurred in Cabarrus County, North Carolina, as early as 1799. A chance discovery by a young boy named Conrad Reed on his family's farm, northeast of present-day Charlotte, led to the unearthing of a sizable gold nugget, initially used as a humble doorstop before its true value was recognized by a visiting jeweler. This discovery sparked a rush as the Reed family and others frantically mined the region for gold, attracting fortune seekers from far and wide. 2 decades later, another substantial gold rush unfolded in northern Georgia, just a few hundred miles from the Reed family farm. This rush, too, drew prospectors from various corners, resulting in clashes with Native American tribes and internal conflicts as individuals vied for access to valuable mineral deposits. These earlier rushes underscore the fact that the frontier was not the sole stage for gold rush fervor in the United States. While the 49ers of California may be the most renowned, their quest for gold was not the inaugural chapter in America's gold rush saga. The history of gold rushes in the United States is rich and varied, reflecting the diverse landscapes and opportunities that drew people to seek their fortunes throughout the nation's history. 8. Southpaw Puzzle. For years, both historians and enthusiasts of the Wild West presumed Billy the Kid to be left-handed, primarily due to a well-known tintype photograph from his youth. In this image, the outlaw is depicted with a gun belt positioned on his left side, with a Winchester Model 1873 lever-action rifle nearby, observing the gun belt on his left and his right hand grasping the rifle's barrel, leaving his left presumably free to pull the trigger, led to the understandable assumption that Billy the Kid, also known as William Bonney, was a southpaw. This detail, while not paramount to his controversial life, added a layer of intrigue, considering the relative rarity of left-handed individuals then and now. However, the reality is likely far different. Tintype photographs like the one in question were produced by creating a negative image, which was then developed to appear positive, resulting in a 180-degree horizontal rotation from the original snapshot. Consequently, Billy the Kid's gun belt would have likely been on his right side, not his left. Additionally, the rifle he holds would have been oriented for use with his right hand, not his left. Furthermore, the specific model of Winchester rifle featured in the photograph includes a loading gate positioned on the right side, although it appears to be on the left in the picture due to the tintype's reversal. In truth, Winchester exclusively manufactured right-facing loading gates for the 1873 lever-action rifle, catering to right-handed individuals. While it remains plausible that Billy the Kid was left-handed but adapted to the prevalence of right-handed firearms in Old West society, the photograph often cited as evidence of his left-handedness is not as straightforward as initially presumed. This nuanced analysis sheds light on the complexities of interpreting historical imagery and the need for careful consideration when drawing conclusions about figures from the past. 7. Saloon. Have you ever tuned in to the classic TV series Gunsmoke? If so, Miss Kitty's Long Branch Saloon is undoubtedly a familiar name. Portrayed as situated in the notorious outlaw town of Dodge City, Kansas, the saloon served as a central setting in the iconic portrayal of frontier life. Surprisingly, the saloon was not just a creation of television fiction, it had a real-life counterpart that existed in Dodge City. Miss Kitty's Long Branch Saloon was indeed a tangible establishment where locals and travelers alike could indulge in a drink or two. Its origins are shrouded in the mists of history, with no precise date for its establishment recorded. However, it is known unequivocally that the original saloon met a fiery end during the infamous Front Street Fire of 1885, which ravaged Dodge City, consuming numerous businesses and altering the landscape of the burgeoning city. Despite the devastation wrought by the fire, the spirit of Miss Kitty's Long Branch Saloon endured, albeit in a different form. Subsequent years saw the resurrection of the saloon, although it never quite recaptured the essence of its outlaw town heyday. In the modern era, the saloon remains, serving as a nostalgic pilgrimage site for fans of Gunsmoke, eager to relive memories from their television-watching youth. Although the present-day incarnation of Miss Kitty's may cater more to the desires of Gunsmoke aficionados than to the clientele of the original 19th-century establishment, historical accounts and regional museums paint a vivid picture of the saloon's vibrant past, offering a diverse array of beverages, from milk and tea to sarsaparilla and various alcoholic libations. The original Miss Kitty's was reputedly a lively hub of activity, embodying the spirit of the Old West in all its colorful glory. So, if you ever find yourself in southwestern Kansas, seeking a taste of frontier life, you now know where to seek out a piece of history. 6. The gunfight was surprisingly brief. No exploration of the Wild West would be complete without delving into the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral. The name alone evokes a sense of drama and intrigue, immortalizing the events of that fateful day in Arizona in 1881. On one side of the conflict stood the Earp brothers, Morgan, Virgil, and Wyatt, accompanied by the notorious Doc Holliday. Arrayed against them were a motley crew of outlaws and renegades, including Billy Claiborne, Billy Clanton, Ike Clanton, and the McClory brothers, Frank and Tom. When the smoke cleared, both McClory brothers and Billy Clanton lay dead, while Virgil and Morgan Earp sustained injuries but survived. What's remarkable is the brevity of the skirmish, a mere 30 seconds from the first gunshot to the settling dust. Despite involving 9 individuals and a barrage of bullets, the entire confrontation was over in less than half a minute, defying the drawn-out depictions often seen in cinematic portrayals of Old West gunfights. Adding to the intrigue is the revelation that the gunfight didn't even occur at the OK Corral, contrary to popular belief. From a technical standpoint, the shootout transpired at the present-day intersection of 3rd Street and Fremont Street in Tombstone, Arizona, not within the confines of the corral itself, but on the public road behind it. This detail highlights the nuanced nature of historical accuracy amidst the myths and legends that shroud the events of that infamous day. 5. The Old West. It's indisputable that Native American settlements in America predate those of European immigrants by millennia. While Jamestown is often celebrated as the first European settlement in North America, established in 1607 with over 100 settlers, it falls short of claiming the title of the first permanent settlement in what is now the United States. Historical records now reveal that the Acoma Pueblo, located just west of present-day Albuquerque, New Mexico, predates the Jamestown settlement by a staggering 500 years. Although European awareness of the Acoma Pueblo came much later, following the arrival of Spanish conquistadors and missionaries, the settlement had long existed, hidden from the view of white settlers. The Acoma Pueblo, known to its inhabitants as Sky City, thrived as a bustling community with a permanent population of approximately 5,000 individuals. Perched atop a towering 300-foot mesa, the settlement boasted natural fortifications, enhancing its defensive capabilities and solidifying its status as a cultural hub. Indigenous groups from far and wide journeyed to Sky City to engage in trade and interaction with the influential Acoma people. Today, the site of the Acoma Pueblo endures as a testament to its rich history and cultural significance, serving as a vital cultural center and historic heritage complex. Visitors have the opportunity to explore and learn about the earliest settled civilization within the boundaries of present-day America. It's worth noting that the Acoma Pueblo's history predates not only the era of the Old West, but also any other recorded settlement within the United States, underscoring its profound significance in American history. 4. Jesse James' secret. We're not referring to the infamous outlaw Jesse James in his early years of criminal exploits, though he certainly earned that moniker during that tumultuous period. Instead, the focus here is on the events following his demise. Following James's turbulent career of bank robberies and mayhem across the western frontier, he sought refuge at his homestead in Kearney, Missouri. However, his past caught up with him when former adversaries harboring long-standing grudges exposed his whereabouts, leading to his murder in 1882. Initially, James's body found its resting place in the front yard of his farm in Kearney. His family opted for this unconventional burial spot due to concerns that grave robbers might target his remains, given his legendary status. Yet, despite these fears, his body remained undisturbed for a time. Years later, however, his remains were exhumed and reinterred in a more permanent location at Mount Olivet Cemetery in the small Missouri town. But the saga of Jesse James didn't end there. In a bizarre twist, decades after the frontier era, in 1948, a man named J. Frank Dalton emerged, claiming to be the real Jesse James. Astonishingly, a court granted him the legal right to adopt the name of the long-dead outlaw. Despite being debunked as a fabrication, Dalton's story gained traction, particularly in Granbury, Texas, where he lived and eventually passed away at the ripe age of 101. The local community embraced Dalton's claims, commemorating his death and burial, with a tourist attraction commemorating the alleged outlaw's life. The controversy surrounding Jesse James's purported double burial sites persisted, eventually prompting scientific intervention with DNA analysis. Subsequent testing on the remains in Kearney confirmed, through mitochondrial samples, their authenticity as belonging to the real Jesse James, debunking Dalton's claims once and for all. However, despite the scientific evidence, the myth of Jesse James's burial in Granbury endured, overshadowing historical facts and perpetuating a misconception that persists to this day. 3. The first film Cowboy. If you're familiar with the history of early Western cinema, the name Bronco Billy Anderson likely rings a bell. He gained fame as a cowboy starring in the 1903 silent film The Great Train Robbery. However, the reality of Anderson's life off-screen differed significantly from the persona he portrayed as America's first cowboy star of the motion picture era. Born Maxwell Henry Aronson in 1880, Anderson hailed from Arkansas, the son of a traveling salesman who traversed the Ozarks peddling goods to local families and dry goods stores. Despite his upbringing, Maxwell harbored aspirations beyond the confines of his hometown. At a young age, he departed for New York City, seeking opportunities in the burgeoning film industry. In the bustling metropolis, Aronson found his niche in the emerging world of silent movies, where he immersed himself in both acting and production roles. Over the course of his career, he became a prolific figure, contributing to the creation of hundreds of films. Thus, while he may not have been a cowboy in reality, he played the part convincingly on screen, earning him recognition as one of America's earliest movie stars. However, it's crucial to note that Aronson's portrayal of Bronco Billy Anderson was purely a fabrication. Despite the iconic role in The Great Train Robbery, Anderson's persona bore little resemblance to Aronson's actual experiences. He had never ventured out west for any extended period, nor did he possess any first-hand knowledge of life on the frontier. Instead, his portrayal of the cowboy archetype was a concoction of Hollywood imagination, perpetuated by the film industry's desire to captivate audiences with tales of the Wild West. In hindsight, some may view Aronson as a precursor to the trend of Hollywood stars fabricating backstories to enhance their appeal to the public. Nonetheless, his legacy endures as a testament to the transformative power of cinema and its ability to create enduring myths and legends, even if they stray far from reality. 2. Cowboy Hats. The necessity of working outdoors under the relentless sun compelled pioneers to don headwear, and they seldom ventured without it. However, the iconic 10-gallon cowboy hats we envision when conjuring images of the Old West didn't emerge until the 1920s and beyond. Their rise to prominence owes much to Hollywood's romanticized portrayal of cowboys in motion pictures. Contrary to popular belief, these oversized hats were not a staple of authentic cowboy attire during the 19th century's Western expansion. Instead, genuine cowboys of the era favored a more practical headpiece known as the Boss of the Plains, a smaller, flat-brimmed hat crafted by menswear designer John Stetson. Inspired by the shortcomings of earlier headwear worn by pioneers, Stetson sought to create a hat better suited to the demands of life on the frontier, Traditional headwear, whether made of straw, silk, fur, or wool, proved inadequate, offering little protection from the elements and often becoming waterlogged in inclement weather. The boss of the plains addressed these shortcomings admirably. Constructed from nutria fur, it boasted a deep crown and a compact, flat brim designed to shield the wearer from the sun and shed rainwater efficiently. Its waterproof qualities made it indispensable for cowboys traversing rugged terrain where access to clean water was often scarce. Moreover, the hat's versatility extended beyond mere protection, as its brim could be inverted to serve as an improvised water vessel for parched horses, a vital feature for those navigating arduous trails. Despite its practicality, Stetson's innovative creation came at a price. Retailing for around $5 at most dry goods stores of the time, equivalent to over $75 in today's currency, the boss of the plains was a substantial investment for individuals earning modest incomes from grueling labor. Nevertheless, its durability and effectiveness justified the expense, making it a worthwhile purchase for those seeking respite from the harsh elements of the frontier. 1. The Old West had real gun control. The Wild West conjures images of lawlessness and gun-slinging outlaws, but the reality of firearm regulation in frontier towns may surprise many. While tales of shootouts and daring robberies abound, gun control measures were actually quite stringent, often surpassing contemporary standards. Frontier settlements such as Deadwood, Dodge City, Abilene, Garden City, and Tombstone enforced strict ordinances requiring visitors to surrender their firearms upon entry. In a remarkable display of authority, individuals were obliged to relinquish their guns at the local sheriff's office upon crossing city limits. In exchange, they received tokens corresponding to their weapons, essentially creating the world's first firearm coat check system. This policy aimed to maintain order and prevent violence within town limits, recognizing the potential dangers posed by armed strangers. However, there were exceptions to this rule for established residents who enjoyed a rapport with the sheriff. Known locals were often permitted to retain possession of their firearms for personal defense and household security. This distinction reflected a pragmatic approach to gun control, balancing public safety concerns with the practical needs of frontier life. The implementation of such regulations underscores the efforts of law enforcement officials to curb the prevalence of firearms and mitigate the risks associated with unchecked gun ownership. Despite the romanticized depiction of the Wild West as a lawless frontier, historical evidence reveals a more nuanced reality characterized by deliberate attempts to regulate firearms and maintain social order. As we wrap up our exploration of 10 more strange things you never knew about the Old West, it's clear that history is filled with fascinating and unexpected stories waiting to be discovered. From bizarre inventions to unusual customs, the Wild West continues to captivate our imagination. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover even more intriguing tales from history, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing to our channel, you'll never miss out on the latest content exploring the mysteries and wonders of the past. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Old West, and we look forward to sharing more exciting discoveries with you in the future. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.